Recently, there's been a lot of interest about individuals with different combinations of sex chromosomes. But what causes these differences? Does this happen with other chromosomes as well? My name is Trecek-King, and I'm a biologist, and I couldn't resist the opportunity to give a biology lesson. Humans have 46 chromosomes, or 23 pairs. Chromosomes number 1 through 22 are called autosomes, and they determine most of our traits. The 23rd pair are the sex chromosomes. The X is much larger than the Y, and it contains significantly more genetic information. Each cell only needs one active X chromosome, so extra X's are randomly inactivated or turned off to prevent an overexpression of X-linked genes. Although it's small, the Y chromosome plays a key role in sex determination. It contains the SRY gene, which is like the master switch for male development. In the absence of the SRY gene, an embryo will follow the female developmental route. To maintain the correct number of chromosomes across generations, all sexually reproducing species rely on a type of cell division called meiosis to produce gametes, or eggs and sperm. This process reduces chromosome number by half, from diploid, or 2 sets of chromosomes, to haploid, with only 1 set of chromosomes. After fertilization, the resulting zygote has both sets of chromosomes, with the genetic information necessary for development. However, sometimes things go wrong during meiosis, and the chromosome pairs fail to separate properly. This error, called non-disjunction, results in gametes with abnormal numbers of chromosomes, or aneuploidy. After fertilization, the zygote now has cells with either only 1 copy of a chromosome, or a monosomy, or 3 copies, a trisomy. Depending on the chromosome that's impacted, most aneuploidies result in miscarriage. In fact, up to half of miscarriages are caused by chromosomal abnormalities. So what aneuploidies do we see in humans? Well, humans need at least 2 copies of all autosomes to develop properly. So there are no cases of individuals surviving with an autosomal monosomy. However, there are 3 cases in which individuals with an autosomal trisomy can survive, though they often face significant health challenges. Trisomy 21, or Down syndrome, is the most common. It's associated with cognitive disabilities and an increased risk of health issues like heart defects and hearing and vision impairments. Trisomy 18, or Edwards syndrome, and trisomy 13, or Patau syndrome, result in severe health complications. In fact, many infants with these conditions don't survive past early childhood. Sex chromosomal aneuploidies are the exception, as they tend to have milder effects. The Y chromosome isn't necessary for survival. It's relatively small and primarily determines maleness. Missing copies results in females, and extra copies don't tend to have serious detrimental effects. However, the X chromosome has so much essential genetic information that at least 1 must be present. But due to the process of X inactivation, extra X chromosomes are randomly turned off. There are various combinations of sex chromosomal aneuploidies, each of which are associated with various physical characteristics and specific health concerns. For example, there are females with 1 X, called Turner syndrome, or females with 3 X's, known as trisomy X. There are males with 2 X's and a Y, known as Klinefelter syndrome, and males with an X and 2 Ys, known as Jacob syndrome. The 23 pairs of chromosomes are essential for humans to develop and function properly. The specific aneuploidies discussed here, autosomes 13, 18, and 21, and the sex chromosomes, are the exceptions, though they're associated with specific physical characteristics and health problems. Meiotic errors impact all of the other chromosomes as well, but they are so serious that they don't result in live births. Additionally, individuals with aneuploidies, whether autosomal or sex chromosome related, often have reduced fertility due to impaired reproductive organ development and disruptions in meiosis that make it difficult to produce gametes. Sexual reproduction is nature's way of stirring the genetic pot, creating the diversity that helps populations adapt to changing environments. From meiosis to fertilization, it's like a genetic lottery, where variation isn't just a side effect, it's the whole point. In the end, aneuploidies remind us that every person is a unique individual, deserving of care, compassion, and respect. While these variations can present challenges, they also shape the uniqueness of every individual.